Holy shit, is that Eric Matheson over there? Oh my God. Welcome to another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys with your host here, Drew Billy, and co-host Eric Matheson. Eric, how the hell have you been, buddy?
Living the dream, pal. Soaking up the sunshine and taking it day by day. How you been?
There's been a lot of women asking where the hell you been. They want to see your handsome face.
Just taking some time off, working on myself.
But we got a lot of touch on tonight. We got NFL, we got NBA, we got MLB, a little bit of MLB, but a lot of touch on here. So I want to just hear your take. You already know how I feel about Tom Brady, but his tickets, or the price of the tickets for his coming home party against New England or against the Philadelphia Eagles in New England, they're astronomically fucking insane, Eric. $807 for a ticket.
Yeah, I mean, when the GOAT comes back to town, I understand it. You know what I mean? Like that's a once in a lifetime type of thing. You're talking about in most people's cases, maybe not your case because you have a different opinion on Tom Brady than I do. But to me, the GOAT going back to where it all started for himself. I mean, I was looking at tickets for the Raiders Steelers game out in Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Cheapest tickets for those are like $400, and the Raiders stink, and so do the Steelers. So, you know what I mean? It's like some of the ticket prices, depending on where you're at, if you're going to go to a venue like Vegas, or, I mean, obviously Foxborough isn't a Vegas type of venue, but when Brady comes back to town, it makes sense, I think.
Yeah. No, I just I don't get it. I'm wondering if this is, the reason it's so high in prices because it's the first time since he's left there. I mean, the Steelers have the Hall of Honor. You know of that. Me and Joe Green comes back, all that. I don't fucking know. $807. I mean, Robert Kraft, you have enough money.
Yeah. Well, did Brady played there once, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say they played one time, and it was like a real shitty, like rainy, low scoring game, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
I know that now, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I think he's the best to ever do it, and those fans are gonna greet him and just appreciate everything he's done for that franchise over the last 20 years or however long he was there.
Right. And I think it's a highlight because their team was fucking awful last year. So, but anyways, so we got to talk about this Aaron Rodgers contract. Have you read up on this at all?
They're renegotiating it, correct?
Yes. It's a fucking shit show.
Well, he's obviously at the tail end of his career, and he's asking for. I mean, the Packers are willing to give it to him, and I think partially, part of the reason why they are willing to move on from him was because of the money that they had to give him, and he didn't really perform all that well last year to begin with. So,
right.
You can dive a little bit deeper into kind of the numbers or what they're talking about, but I'm assuming both parties are at a point where, I mean, the Jets, they made the trade, so that they made their bed, they got to lay in it now and figure it out. But that's why the Packers wanted to move on from him, I'm assuming.
Right. Yeah. No. So this is how they have it structured here. His 2023 salary is going to be $1.2 million, but his overall payout in 2024 rises to $107.6 million.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just that kind of leaves you in 2024. You have no budget for other players. You got to fuck yourself.
I think you're saying, let's do it 1 year. Let's go all in, try to win a Super Bowl. And if it doesn't work, then, because I mean, realistically, how many more years is he going to play to begin with? It probably is those 2 years. And then he's going to hang it up anyway. So, but to me, it's almost like, I don't know, but might even make more sense to go the other way with it. Give yourself a year to learn, the coaches and the players and everyone that you have around you, and try to get a little bit better, and then go for it the second year. But, maybe you're banking on him being healthy too. If he goes down, boy, are you in a world of hurt.
Right. I just find it funny. I think Zach Wilson actually thinks he has a chance for the QB spot.
Yeah, I keep seeing all these funny videos of like on the Instagram Reels thing talking about give me some water, little boy or something. It's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I just I mean, he might have a better chance with the moms, but I don't think on the field he's going to really produce anything.
No, he's gonna have to do some work off the field instead of on the field this year, I think.
But little room service action. So there's top 7 things taken from the draft, or maybe misses in the offseason here. I want to just see your opinion on it. We did it with Trevor last week. And, I thought it was a good conversation. But the Tennessee Titans don't do enough holy shit, Eric, I'm struggling tonight. Tennessee Titans don't do enough at receiver. They did not draft a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Titans are one of those teams that they're kind of in the middle of, should we fully rebuild or should we keep trying to win type of situations? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where I feel like the Raiders are at too. It's kind of like no man's land. It's like, yeah, can we go like 9-7 or 8-8, potentially slide in the playoffs? Like, maybe. Could we also go, have 5 wins? Like, yeah, true. So it's like, I don't know. You either got to go all in on trying to rebuild and put players around, which potentially a quarterback. I mean, I know they drafted, but who knows if that's going to be the guy. I feel like they're kind of just in no man's land, in a division that's really not good at all. So, if you can be decent, you can win that division.
Right. I just go back to, I don't think they ever should have traded AJ Brown. I don't really get that move at all. And now you're left with shit.
I'll tell you who was happy about it was the Eagles. That's for sure.
Goddamn right.
He helped them out a bit. They're a couple plays away from winning a Super Bowl, and I know they have a really tough schedule this upcoming year. I think they're ranked strength of schedule is number 1 in the league for next year, which probably deserved it since they had cupcakes all last year. But we'll see if they can. I mean, looking at the NFC, who are you going to take over the Eagles to come out? I mean, maybe San Fran, but to me, the AFC is head and shoulders better in every category you can imagine. Like, you look at the quarterbacks in the AFC versus NFC, it's night and day. But maybe that plays into the Titans as well. Not wanting to go into a full rebuild. I don't know. We'll see what they can do. I mean, they're going to lose games regardless because they're going to be playing so many good teams, but their division just isn't that good. So maybe that's why they think they can stick around and potentially win it.
No, yeah, I agree with you. It's just, we'll see what comes of it. There's another thing, Eric, during the draft night shindig, Drew, I was having my Jack and Cokes. Nate was giving his insight. Trevor was too. Another draft pick I didn't understand was the Texans trading up for edge Will Anderson Jr. I don't know what the fuck you're doing there.
Yeah, I think it just depends. I think some organizations, really value certain positions, and others, for them, you would think they'd be all on the page, same page for the most part.
Right.
They need help in every single place, it seems like, almost. You know what I mean? Like, they're a team that's just so far from being good that can you really have a bad draft pick? I don't know. Like, you just want to take who's the most talented, I guess, or who can help the team out the most, because they're just so far away from being relevant, And like I mentioned, thankfully they're in that same division as, the Jags and the Titans, and maybe you can sneak some wins out, but they're just so far from being relevant.
Like I said before, multiple times, Eric, Lovie Smith was handed shit. He was given a season that was shit, and then he was kicked out of an office that was shit. And then, I don't know if it's they don't want to spend money or they just make terrible fucking decisions. Like, they think David Mills is their guy. I'm not impressed by him at all. I'm not.
No.
That other white boy they have down there, I can't remember his name.
I mean, like I said, if you look at the quarterbacks in the AFC, there is no way you can compete in the AFC without having a good quarterback. Mm-mm. There's too many good teams. There's too many good quarterbacks. Like, it's just night and day compared to the NFC. If you move some of them, if you move the Raiders and Steelers to the NFC, I think they're both playoff teams for sure. Like, pretty much pretty solid locks to make the playoffs. But in the AFC, they got to fight and claw for every single win they get. So,
no, we got to move. I keep bashing this organization, but I really think David, I said it right. David Carr was your last good quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah, a while ago. Which, I mean,
maybe Matt Schaub.
That's like the issue though with those teams that are traditionally bad and like they just rotate coaches and quarterbacks and everything in and out. Is like if you're a good coach or you're a good quarterback, why would you want to go there? Like is that a good job? Like taking a head coaching job at the Houston Texans, is that a good job? Like, not really. Like, it'd make more sense to be an offensive coordinator for a Super Bowl contender than it would be a head coach there. You know what I mean? Because you're going to have your job for 2 years and you're going to be out, and then you're going to be fighting for a coordinator job again. So
you have a better luck if you want to do a resume builder. Just go to a fucking college team. That's what I would compare them to, a college team. And they're in the NFL.
They're pretty close to it.
But we just touched on it in the beginning of the show here. But they're saying New York Jets, trained for Aaron Rodgers. That was a terrible move. I guess we touched on it a little bit, but let's fucking dive deep into this shit, Eric.
Here's my thing. It depends what Aaron Rodgers you get, right? Like, to me, last year, did he have the weapons? Not really, no. But I've seen him be absolutely phenomenal without a ton of weapons in the past. So, are you going to get the MVP Aaron Rodgers, which personally I don't think you are, or are you going to get last year's Aaron Rodgers, who has another year, onto his age? I don't know how old he is now, 41, maybe something like that. He's up there. You know what I mean? He's not young anymore. I don't know if you want to do a quick search. I'll do a quick. He's definitely.
Well, I'll tell you.
And that arm's not getting any younger. So,
I just got to throw this out here. I don't want to interrupt you, but I just remember you and Josh and me on here, and we would say some shit, and I would not have any idea that what you guys would be saying, and when you'd say it, I'd be like, yeah, that's the fucking truth. Ever since Trevor and Nate came on, they're fact checking, so there's no bullshit that's getting put on the show now. So I'm actually kind of sad about it.
He's 39. I just looked it up.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's the thing is with the Jets though, is they have a phenomenal defense. So that can hold them in. And for a franchise that hasn't been good ever, really. I mean, they won a Super Bowl back in '69, was the only Super Bowl that they have. Right. They were good in the early 2000s, 2000, whatever it was, with Mark Sanchez. But they played, a similar style where they had a really, really good defense, and then they just tried to score enough points to win. Now they have some weapons on offense. They have Aaron Rodgers. So did they give up a lot to get him? Sure. But like, if you never risk something to try and win a Super Bowl, then what are you doing? Because not too many teams legitimately have a Super Bowl chance,
Right. No, I guess you could compare. Do you think this is fun for everybody that's actually you follow sports, and if you don't, that's okay. Are they trying to follow Los Angeles Rams when they went for Stafford?
Yeah, and I mean, I think the Broncos did the same thing. They had a declining Peyton Manning, but he could still get the job done. Still very smart quarterback. Knows where to put everyone at the line of scrimmage. It's like a game manager instead of a guy who's going to go get you 4 touchdowns. But same with the Broncos team, same with that Rams team. Both of them had good defenses. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, hey, we need you to score 30, and that's how we're going to win all our games, because they're not the same person anymore. You know what I mean? They're not they don't have the same arm talent and the same strength in their arm and everything that they did when they were 30, and now they're 39. And then you're talking about Brady and Manning and all those guys, pushing 40 when they're changing teams. So I don't. If I was a Jets fan, I certainly wouldn't be upset about it, because shit, I would love for a chance for the Raiders to win a Super Bowl at some point in my life. Right. It's been since 2002, so I've been waiting 21 years for them to be relevant again, and I feel like I'm gonna be waiting another at least 10 probably.
With them, Eric, and we'll touch on it because I'm going to tell you, I'm happy just by our conversation here and also throughout the week with text messages. I'm guessing you did not watch our reaction to the Raiders draft picks.
I did not. I did not.
I was just like, what the fuck? And we can touch on it because I got something with the schedules between the Steelers and Raiders. We'll get into that. But no, I didn't understand. And I got people asking me, your buddy on there, he likes the Raiders. What do you think about the draft? I'm like, well, when he gets on, we can talk about
it. Right? So they needed to go defense, in my opinion. Right. Their defense has literally been the worst defense in the league, like over the last 15 years. Like they're so bad, unbelievably bad. So to me, it's a good idea to build from the line back. If you can't get pressure on the quarterback, you're not going to have a good defense. I don't care who you have as your corners and safeties and shit. If you can't get pressure, then you're screwed. And Max Crosby was a one-man show last year. Chandler Jones was one of the worst free agency signings. I thought he was going to be perfect for the Raiders. And he couldn't get any pressure on the quarterback at all. He looked old and he looked slow and he just didn't look like the same guy. So to me, getting somebody on the edge, I didn't mind that at all. And then, you go ahead and you trade Darren Waller and then you lose Morrow. So now you don't have a tight end. They picked up, forget his name in free agency, OJ Howard.
Yes.
And then they draft the guy from Notre Dame. So, to me, it makes sense. The thing is that doesn't make sense to me is that I swear to God, they have a combined 15 ex-Patriots as players or coaches. Yeah. They have so many ex-Patriots, just random players, like not even studs. Jacoby Myers is going to be good, but they just have so many random Patriots. And it's like they're just trying to do what they did in New England, but the only problem is they don't have Bill Belichick. They have Josh McDaniels.
And he's a bum.
And, give him one more year. I would have been fine if they got rid of him last year. But
you think he's a snake?
I don't know what he's doing. He's something.
Okay. Like I just, and I don't want to make it because we do have a lot of Raiders fans that watch it, Eric. I just got to say this. I still am, scratching my head to why the fuck you pulled Derek Carr and traded him. It was like the saddest goddamn thing. That said he loved him. And that asshole came in there and just fucking ruined that relationship.
And then he brought in an ex-Patriot. Like that's, I'm telling you, half the team is ex-Patriots. I'm telling you. But where I think they literally, the start of their downfall before bringing him in was not at least giving Rich Bisaccia one more year at the helm. They had, dude, if you have professional athletes tweeting and advocating for your job, mm-hmm. and the owner does not take that into consideration or like think that they want him to be like, they fought and, a couple of years ago, the Raiders were trash. And then the whole thing happened with John Gruden and the whole thing happened with Henry Ruggs and Rich Bisaccia was there to pick up the pieces and got that team. They were, that year they were down on the goal line, a touchdown away from beating the Bengals, and the Bengals made the Super Bowl. Right. And then last year it goes straight downhill. So, I think the whole signing with the whole issue with Josh McDaniels is just going to continue to be an issue until he's gone, unless he really turns it around this year. He has the players he wants. He's been there for a year now. So if you can't do something next year, then, you're never going to do something.
Right. No, I agree. Buckle up, Joshy, or your job in Las Vegas is going to get your head. But we got to talk about something. This is it made my day when I saw this, Eric, because this guy's just a jackass. Dan Schneider has finally agreed to terms to sell the Washington Commanders. It's a great fucking day.
As LeBron said, it's about damn time.
Now, I'm a little upset that Matthew McConaughey, and I forget that whole slew of people that they said were going in on it. This is not the same, but he is selling the team for $6 billion.
Yeah, he's not going to be hurting for cash.
No, he bought the team for fucking $500 million.
Yeah, that's the downfall of it, right? You get him out of the league, but you also just made him unbelievably rich. So
Jesus Christ.
it's like a double-edged sword. I mean, you can't really win because he's either going to stay in the league or you're going to make him rich. So,
Right.
I mean, for the people in Washington, I'm sure, and just everyone, it was time to get somebody else in there for everything that he's done over the years. And, it's good to see, hopefully some obviously new faces, but just fresh ideas and some other people in there. And I saw Tom Brady was actually interested in being part owner of the Raiders. So
there's something going on there, Eric.
Well, maybe that's Josh McDaniels too, but
Jesus
we'll see.
Christ.
I would like to have his brilliant football mind in there. So we'll see if that happens. But no, it's good to see that Schneider's finally out of commission there.
Well, I just love that he said, no one can fucking touch me. Well, money can touch you, buddy. Money can touch you. And, I bet you Jerry called up to the office there and fucking said, hey, get him out of there. We don't got fucking time for his bullshit. Get him out of that fucking office right now. So it's really good, Eric. It's a happy day. I still think they're going to be a shit organization, but there's just not going to be, terrible shit going on and misconduct. So
yeah, I mean, the thing is in sports is like you hardly ever just see teams that have been traditionally bad for so long just get really good. You just really don't see it that often. You know what I mean? And part of it's destination. You know what I mean? Like if you're a professional athlete and you're playing football, right? And you're in free agency and you can go play for the Miami Dolphins or you can go play for Las Vegas or, whoever. Are you going to go to Washington, D.C. or are you going to go to California or Florida or,
Well, if
and
I'm
that
thinking about being a senator.
That happens a lot more in basketball than it does in football because football has like a little bit more of I don't want to say tradition because basketball has a lot of tradition too. But like you see teams going to Pittsburgh, which Pittsburgh's a cool city. Don't get me wrong, but is it as nice as Las Vegas or is it nice as Los Angeles or Miami? No, I mean let's be honest. But the football team has a ton of tradition, obviously.
Right. And I think like we touched on before, Tom, that's a player's coach.
That helps too.
Yeah. But no, I'm going to say something bold here, and it's going to be breaking news. I haven't seen anybody put out a record yet on the Steelers.
For next year.
For next year, the Steelers, the Yinzers are going to appreciate this. I'm going to go bold here, Eric.
Of course,
I did last year.
And how'd that work out?
I thought it did. We were close. I said what? What did I say? 10-6. We went 9-8.
Was that the prediction last year?
Or 10-7. No, 11-6. 11-6. I remember because I flip flop.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it right here first. Everybody listening, the Steelers are going to be 12-5.
Wow. Well, you better go 12-4 because you're going to lose. You're going to lose at Vegas. So now you're already down 1.
I don't think we lose at Vegas.
You're going to lose at Vegas. You had no. Oh,
if we had enough money, I'd fly us both out there just to watch them get their ass kicked by the Steelers.
What a choke job that was by the Raiders last year.
Franco died. Remember? Okay, so
yeah, that was rigged. The NFL rigged that for him.
Whatever.
No, that's the one game this year that I really, really want to go to. They're coming to Miami, so I already have. I know a few people that still work at the Dolphins. I've spoke to somebody about tickets already, so I already got those lined up. But I got to get out to Vegas, and it makes just all the sense in the world to go for the Steelers game because most of my friends or people that would want to go would be Steeler fans. So it's just perfect. But when you think about it, like you said, I mean, you're talking about your flight, a hotel, and a ticket.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to cost you $2,000.
We're also talking about gambling here. Let's not forget that expense.
Well, I mean, when I go to the blackjack table, when I get out there and win $2,000, it's just you know what I mean?
You paid for the whole trip.
Exactly. I don't got to worry about it.
No, but what do you think the Raiders are? This is very early. We'll probably say it 3 more times.
I mean, I am more of not to call you out, but I'm more of a realist than I think you are.
Well, we have the second coming of Christ. You got
I
an
think
Italian guy that
I
tries
think
to hook up
12
with
and
porn
5.
stars. I mean,
I think 12-5 is the most generous thing you could possibly say about the Pittsburgh Steelers. But
this guy.
um, I think they can go 9-7. I think that's kind of the Raiders' ceiling, 9-7, or no, 9-8. 9-8 would probably be their ceiling, or maybe yeah. Their schedule's a little bit easier, but the thing is they have to play the Chargers twice. They have to play the Chiefs twice. Like I'm
They
over
play
the
the
Chiefs.
Bills.
I'm over. They play the Bills. You know, I'm over the Chiefs, bro. I'm tired of playing the Chiefs. Like they just that's 2 losses every year. Just put them down. That's 2. You know, and we play them on Christmas Day, so they're probably gonna get absolutely shellacked on Christmas Day if I had to guess.
But I would say I think you're gonna get a win against the Packers.
Yeah.
You're okay, sir. You're all right. Get a win against the Packers. I think you can beat the Chargers. And the Bears.
I mean I think they can make a wild card? I think that's their ceiling, realistically. Whether that's 9-8 or it's whatever. I think that's their ceiling. And if they get that, I'll be perfectly happy because that's just who they are at this point. You know, they're not a Super Bowl contender until they prove to me that they can make any noise in the playoffs. And the face going out the window a little bit here.
Well, I guess the other thing too, you guys do play the Colts. So you saw who they drafted, Eric.
Yeah.
Do you think they're still a quarterback away?
At least for a couple of years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At least for a year. I mean, I'm in the prove it to me business right now. I mean, those young pups, some of them pan out very, very well, obviously,
right.
But typically, right off the bat, there's some that come in and do it, but most people aren't just going to come in and just absolutely tear it up. You know what I mean? I do like I don't think the Raiders schedule is that bad. I know it was ranked like the 10th toughest strength of schedule in the league. Part of that's because they just have to play the Chiefs twice a year and they have to play the Chargers twice a year. But it's not that bad. I think that they can make some noise, but I thought that last year too, and they definitely let me down. So I want to see what Jimmy G can do. I want to see if he can play decent football. They don't need him to be a superhero. They need him to play decent football, run the football, and hopefully the defense can improve a little bit.
I will say it again. I'm very biased against the Raiders, Eric. I know. I was actually rooting for him at points last year for you when we would have these conversations. If Devontae Adams is under, might be bold, under 1,000 yards, I would be very concerned.
Yeah, no, he'll be. I mean, he had a hell of a year last year. He had the most receiving yards in Raiders history in a single season.
But Jimmy G, he's not a slinger.
No, he's not, and
that's
not.
What I'm concerned about.
He's not willing to take as many risks as Derek Carr is,
right,
which, depending on circumstances, I think risks are great. Third and long, and you throw 150 yards and it gets picked off. Who cares? You're going to punt it anyway.
Fuck yeah.
So, it's we'll see. I'm very curious to see how this all ties together because this is exactly what Josh McDaniels wanted. I mean, he has every Patriot that he could possibly get, I think. So we'll see if he can kind of turn it into those Patriot offenses, but I'm very skeptical.
No, I agree with you. And then what else do we have? Anything else on NFL? Anything else you want to touch on NFL wise, Eric? I kind of didn't mean to take over there. I wanted you to.
No, that's good. I mean, I think we need to talk about a little NBA action here with my boys.
I gotta watch myself, but I'm just gonna straight up. Can we please talk about a waste? I mean, I'm Eric. I forgot to tell you too. I'm getting in the card business. Okay, sports cards.
Okay.
I was watching, their feeds. I was looking at my, stories on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, all over the place. John Morant. I didn't know if we wanted to touch on. We're going to. Um,
Definitely.
he is wasting a perfect opportunity. You had the strip club thing. Okay. He's kind of going down. And people might get pissed off at this. I really don't care. It's a comparison. Someone needs to check on his mental health. He's turning into an Antonio Brown of the NBA right now.
I mean,
I'm just going to throw that out there.
I don't always agree with things that Stephen A. Smith says.
Yes.
But he said something the other day, and he said R.J. Barrett, who got drafted by the Knicks that year,
yes,
might go down as a better draft pick than Zion and Ja Morant, because Zion obviously just can't stay healthy. Like when he's on the floor, he's amazing, but he just can't stay healthy.
Right.
And Ja just can't stop being a complete idiot. Like to me, you're just being like selfish and you don't appreciate what you have in front of you. Right. Like you have the opportunity to have just generational, like you have so much money coming your way if you can just stay out of trouble. Yes. You know what I mean? And, you know, you get a little slap on the wrist by the NBA for the first time around. You get 8 games.
Yep. You
say you're coming down here to Florida to, you know, go to some facility to, you know, learn and not make the same mistakes and all this stuff. And
yes, sir.
Wait 2 months and you do the same stupid shit. Like,
right.
You know, he's going to lose a lot of money because endorsements are going to drop him now. Yep. Like his endorsements are going to drop him. They were already like, I think the Ja Morant shoe deal with Nike is probably going to go out the window.
That's what I was going to say. It just released.
Yeah. Oh, it did?
Well, I don't want to say just released.
Yeah.
Like months ago it did. And that's when I'm like, okay, what the fuck are you doing? You got to deal with Nike. You have freak talent.
He has other endorsements too, but after the first time there was talks about, you know, his endorsements being very shaky and hesitant on the future with him, and then he does it again. He's going to be done. Like he's going to, you know, he's going to be in the NBA again, of course, but he's just losing so much money. It's unbelievable. And to me, it's just not appreciating what you have, you know, even if it's little things, you should be appreciating it. But big things like that, I mean, just making horrific decisions, and you got to look who's around you. And, you know, you don't put the blame on your friends. It's not your friend's fault. You're the one being an idiot. But are you putting yourself in those situations where your friends may be caught up in stuff? I have no idea. But
right.
You got to be smarter than that. I mean, he's going to get there. He'll probably end up getting 30 games, is my guess. 30-game suspension to start the year next year, which that's a pretty good chunk of the year, you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, I guess I'm gonna say I got to say this for people that don't know what we're talking about. If you're not up to date with your sports news, he was, you know, shown with a gun in a video, and it was circulating all over social media on this past Saturday night. But I got to say this, Eric, what I am very concerned about, and I think Adam Silver, other NBA players, NBA greats, Michael, Magic, you know, LeBron, I think they embody this. I think what we need to look at is there's young kids that look up to Ja.
For sure.
You can't fucking do that. I'm very no tolerance for that. You know, DV and this, I'm not liking that. I mean, how fucking stupid can you be? I mean, if you want to do the gun thing, okay, go ahead, do the gun thing. But to put it on social media, Eric, I mean, for fuck's sake. Like,
yeah, I mean,
you're asking, it's like a call for help in my eyes.
Here's the thing with professional athletes, you know, a lot of people will come back and say, oh, I was never, you know, I didn't want to be a role model. That's not my, no, it is your job. It's part of
right.
The job description.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether you want it to be or not. Like when you have a job, when you go to your job, you like every single thing that you do at your job? Probably not, but you do it. That's part of the gig. Like you make millions and millions of dollars to play a sport. And the two things that are part of the gig that most of them don't like is going to do interviews, you know, especially after they lose.
Right.
And then being a role model for kids. Like some people embrace it and love it and do a very good job of it. And then others just do stupid shit like this. And it's just, you know, it's sad because like you said, there's so many kids, you know, I'm thinking about when I was a kid, I'm sure when you were a kid, you know, watching basketball or watching football, and like those guys were superheroes to me. Like those guys were full blown superheroes. And when they make these decisions, obviously you're not sitting there thinking about like, oh, I don't want to disappoint a kid, but like that's what it comes down to, because they're breaking the hearts of some of these kids who spend their money on them for their shoes or their clothes or whatever the case may be, and it's just selfish to me.
Right. I do got to say this though. It might be bold. This one, I think every superstar has had some drama. Kobe had his issues in Colorado. God bless his soul. Michael with the gambling. We have. I'm trying to think. Is there anything with LeBron?
No. That's why. Off the court.
I guess fan interactions. Maybe fan interactions. There's been issues, but it's not him doing it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just thinking controversies like this. I think takes the fucking cake. Like D-Rod wasn't even doing this shit. That's what he was just partying and partying with Carmen Electra, and Madonna said
one of the worst things about it was that he just did this 2 months ago.
That's a sad reality.
Like it's just like, yeah, hey, don't give me a harsh penalty. Like, I'm not that guy. And he went on in an interview with Jalen Rose, and he's like, that's not who I am. That's not who I am. I just was in a bad, did a bad thing. Like, that's not who I am. 2 months later, you just run it right back and do the same thing. Right. Sometimes you got to call a spade a spade. Like, that's who he is. And who he's trying to be, or act like the hard, fake gangster guy. It's like, dude, you make millions of dollars. You could have the best life in the world if you want it, and you're just doing everything you can to piss it away.
See, now you're more familiar with NBA, like Trevor and Josh are more familiar with MLB than I am. Now, is there he has a 5-year, $194 million max deal. Could they somehow depreciate that, and he could get fucked over here and lose?
There's definitely suspensions, which I don't know if this is going to warrant that or not, but there is suspensions without pay. So could he potentially get suspended for 30 games and not get a paycheck? Like whatever it is. Say he makes, I don't know how much he makes. Say he makes $40 million next year and he gets suspended for half the year. Could they take $20 million from him? Yeah.
Okay. So
maybe that's what you do, because he got fined the last time that this happened a couple months ago. He got fined $600,000. So this time, they're not going to be nice about it, and as they should. They shouldn't be, because you just did it. Like, you should at least wait a year or do something. Like, show that you're at least you're willing to try, and you just don't even try, and then you just run it right back. I don't know. Shit's sad, man.
Yeah, it's just fucking stupid. But let's move on to positive things here, Eric. So our Lakers. Mm-hmm. Let's see. If you want to take over, you can.
I would love to. Obviously, I'm more of the NBA guy in the group, and when we talk about NBA,
yes,
and I can promise you, I sit here every single night and stay up till about 1 in the morning watching every NBA game. Whether it's the Lakers or, because normally they're the late game, with them being out west. But I've watched pretty much every postseason game so far, this NBA playoffs, and I think the Lakers have a good shot. LeBron and AD obviously have to stay healthy, and they got the Nuggets this time around, which I don't know if you saw, but the 4 teams that are still left in the playoffs are the 4 teams that were in the finals for the bubble.
Okay.
So you have Heat, Celtics on the other side, and then you have Nuggets, Lakers on this side. The Nuggets and Celtics to me are a little bit better than the Lakers, and I think they're better than the Heat. But I think they got a puncher's chance. I mean, anytime you have LeBron and AD, you have a chance to win. So, we'll see what happens. I on the other side, you had the Heat played them last year in the conference finals, played Boston, and I was actually down at that game working. They lost in 7, down in Miami. So I think they'll both be entertaining series. I want to say the Lakers win in 6 because I'm a big Laker guy. Would I be surprised they lost? Absolutely not, because I think the Nuggets are probably a better team.
Okay.
And then on the other side, I think you have to go with the Celtics. And I think they probably get it done in 5 or 6 as well. I think they're a little bit better. And Miami's been shooting, just looking at the stats, regular season to playoffs, Miami's been shooting the hell out of the ball. And if they can't continue to do that, they're gonna find themselves in some trouble early on, I think, with the Celtics. So I don't know if you have any predictions as far as the old Lakers and the crew.
I play NBA with some buddies, Eric. I'd love to play against you. That would be a hell of a matchup. But I would say
play some real basketball, and then.
Well, we can go back to the old. I found that jersey. Now, next time you're on, I'll pull it out and you can. But I'm going to get it framed probably. But anyways, no, I'd say the Lakers. LeBron, he is just. I hate to do this to you, but the comparison. I mean, he's just like Kobe. When he can have terrible, times during the regular season, but when he gets in the playoffs, get the fuck out of the way. I mean, he's kind of like Michael, Tom Brady kind of comparison there. Like if he's fucking able to play, he's going to will them to win. Now, AD, he's being a little bitch this year, Eric, and I could.
He's certainly. Huh?
I mean, I hope if he stays healthy, I could see them winning. Yeah, I mean, it's mapped the way it's mapped out here. I don't see the way if they get past the Nuggets, I think they win.
Yeah, I mean,
I do.
Here's the thing with me is I've been watching LeBron for literally 20 years.
Right.
I started watching him. I went to a game his rookie year, and I have religiously watched him his entire career. And, he's always been the main point of the offense. He's always, for the most part, had the ball in his hand. Like, he loves running high pick and rolls and getting downhill and all that good stuff. And he's really taken on a different role this playoffs, and this is the first time I've ever seen it. And he's playing off the ball a lot more. And Austin Reeves is running the offense, and D'Lo's running the offense, and it's helping him preserve some of his energy on the defensive end, but also just picking his spots. Because at age 38, he's not going to give it to you for 48 minutes anymore. He can't do it. No. But if he can play solid, if he can play decent for 30 minutes, and then give you 8 minutes of actual game time, of playing outstanding, it's typically enough for them to get it done and get a win. Like you see him playing in spurts. So it's a different type of LeBron. The only thing with that is that you have to have AD playing exceptional for them to win. Like the 2 games that he played okay, in the Warriors series, they lost. The games where he played shitty or okay in the Memphis series, they lost. They need him to be great for them to win. And realistically, they probably need him to be finals MVP for them to win a championship. But the one narrative that I have seen, and I'm totally on board with now, is Lakers versus Celtics.
I love it.
In the NBA finals.
Yeah.
They both have 17 championships, and they duke it out one last time to see who gets. LeBron dukes it out with Boston one last time to see who claims the most championships in NBA history. Tell me that wouldn't draw some ratings for the NBA.
Now, you know what would break my heart? Historically, Eric, if you haven't watched it, you being a basketball mind, stellar player, all-time leader scorer, Ridgeway, you probably have seen it. The Lakers and Celtics. Did you watch that documentary?
Oh yeah.
I put that up there with The Last Dance in the Dream Team documentary. I fucking love it. It would just be awesome for the Lakers to do that, because the whole time leading up until Magic, they were Celtics' little, ugly stepbrother. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it would be fucking awesome. I will be tuning in if that happens. I don't
know if you've seen the finals commercials yet, but they started commercials. You know who's in it?
Lakers and so. Oh,
Magic and Bird. They're the two talking about it. and they're the ones saying like, who's going to win it this year? Who's going to win it? And it's Magic and Bird talking. Like it's. I am not a conspiracy theorist or believe anything's rigged like that. I do not believe that. It just makes sense to me, and I think it's very, very possible. I think the Celtics are a good chunk above the Heat, and I think the Lakers series is about 50-50 almost.
Right.
The only reason why I'm giving the Nuggets a little bit of an edge is because I think they're the home team and they're the second best home team in the NBA. But I think the Lakers certainly have a decent chance of winning that series. So, I mean, what else could you ask for? Because could the Lakers make some noise next year? Potentially. But realistically, this is probably LeBron's last hurrah trying to get a championship. Right. And you're already here. So you might as well just get the job done and just make me the happiest guy in the world, because I would be ecstatic if they could get that done.
And I've been waiting. I didn't want to bring this up with Josh or Nate or Trevor. I wanted to just bring it up, if it was you and me one-on-one, or, those guys were on, but you and me having a conversation about it. LeBron leaves the Lakers this year and goes wherever Bronny's drafted. Takes a minimum deal.
Well, he has to go one more year. So.
Oh yeah, you're right. Jesus fuck.
Bronny will go to Bronny's going to USC.
Yep.
Which they announced not too long ago.
It works out. Yep.
So if he gets drafted, I can't remember LeBron's contract. I think he has one more year on the contract, and then he has a player option, I do believe, which I'm assuming he probably set that up just so that same situation with Bronny.
Yes.
But man, if he could win one more chip for the Lakers and then go next year, does whatever, and then plays one more year with his son, I mean, what else can you really ask for? That would probably be how he ends his career, especially if he wins one this year. Like, if he wins one this year, next year, is he going to be motivated? Sure, he'll still be motivated because he's LeBron James.
Right.
But I feel like he wouldn't be pressing. Like, he got the scoring title. He'd have another championship. The only reason he would really be going crazy next year to try to win another one, if they got it done this year, is to tie Michael at 6.
And past Kobe. Fuck. Yeah. No, we can't have that happen, Eric.
So, but, to me as a competitor, how I would be thinking, and if I had somebody who I was compared to, for pretty much his entire career,
right,
and I won one this year and I'm at 5, like, God, I'd be itching to get to 6 to tie.
Now I don't want them to win. Now you just made me. Now I don't want the Lakers to win. Because I don't want him to tie Kobe. God, no.
He's already past that. He's already not in championships, but rankings wise, he's already past that. Don't worry.
I just got to throw this out here real quick. I don't want to interrupt the conversation, but people were saying I was very fucking ballsy for my story on Instagram.
Which one?
What I tagged him with Kobe balling out on LeBron when he called ISO.
It's crazy how you showed one clip, and then it doesn't show anything else.
No, you got to click on the post, and then you see the other ones. He's doing a fadeaway. He does a fadeaway with the left over his.
Hey, I have always admired Kobe, and I absolutely love his mentality.
Yes,
and just one of the all-time greats. But he's not LeBron. He's not in that same.
All right,
he's just not there. He's not there. LeBron can just do more.
Usually you and Josh are the ones fucking going back and forth with each other. I'm just going to throw this out here. It's 2 inches and 40 more fucking pounds. Okay.
Yeah. What are you going to do? You can't do anything with that. What do you want? You want to hold it against him because he was born bigger and stronger?
He could be a fucking tight end in the NFL, Eric. At 38 right now, he'd be fine.
You're telling me I think he should hang up now and go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's drinking fucking baby blood. That's what's going on.
He's taking something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to see it. Like, there is no way you played 20 years in the NBA.
Yeah.
You haven't taken something.
Yeah.
Like, he's, it doesn't sound like you've watched a ton of the NBA playoffs, but when he gets out on fast breaks,
I see the highlights.
He still looks like the fastest. He still looks like the fastest guy in the NBA in spurts.
Yeah.
Can he doesn't do, the one big difference is he doesn't move laterally as well as he once did.
No.
And so he's not as good as a defender. He's a very good help side defender, but he's not a great on ball defender anymore. But
Right.
hey, they need 8 more wins, and it's gonna be a hell of a ride, I hope.
Yeah. Well, I will, if they make it to the finals, I will watch it. And
tomorrow night at 8:30.
Fuck. I'll watch it, Eric. I'll watch it for you when we can text back and forth, and I can talk shit and say that was a terrible fucking pass, LeBron.
Don't be bringing any bad energy to the Lake Show right now. They're looking good.
Well, you know who I love? I love D'Angelo Russell. I always did. Even with the Nick Young situation, I'm just happy he's back. I always was a fan of him. I think he's slippery off ball. You know, he can work off without the ball, and then he can get a shot, pull up, jumper. I enjoy him. I don't know.
He's hit or miss, man. He can explode for 25, or he can have 5. And that's kind of the Lakers are going right now as the role players are going too. They have, Austin Reeves, who's been phenomenal for him. Rui Hachimura has been great for him.
Yes.
And then D'Lo is another huge component of that as well.
Right.
Because, that they can all stretch the floor. And that was the big issue with the Lakers early on in the year, not being able to stretch the floor. You want to have space for LeBron and AD. And if you don't have any shooting around them, you're not going to be able to stretch the floor. So Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss, whoever was making these moves, they made some great moves and gave the Lakers a chance to, ultimately try to win a championship here. So we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
Yes. Now, one thing I got to touch on here, and fuck it, we're not going to touch on baseball. I just there was some good things going on there, but I just don't feel like doing it. But basketball, Monte Williams once led the Phoenix Suns to the NBA Finals, and he won't get another chance. Eric, I'm very surprised that they fired him.
Yeah, he will be picked up quickly. Let me tell you that. He won Coach of the Year last year.
Yes.
He's had the most wins in the NBA since 2001, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And they're just they just didn't have enough around KD and Devin Booker. CP3 goes down. You probably
get him the fuck out of there, Eric. I'm serious.
CP3?
Yeah, stop it. It's like fucking Udonis Haslem. Like, no offense to Udonis Haslem. Like,
no, I mean, he can be productive still sometimes, but they even when they inserted Cameron Payne into the lineup, they played quicker, they moved the ball better. Like, he just doesn't, he's old too. He's 38, but the difference between him being 38 or however old he is, right, I believe he's 38, and LeBron being 38 is LeBron's 6'8", 6'9", 260 pounds. Chris Paul's 6'3". You know what I mean? It's not the same. You can't reinvent your game all that much when you're that small.
No.
LeBron can go to the post. He can do different things, but the Suns are extremely talented. They mortgaged a lot of their future to get KD.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you get 2 vet players to sign league minimums or something like that this offseason, they can certainly win a championship still. So I'm interested to see what they do this offseason for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he had a record of 194, 115. I mean, that win-loss, that's pretty good. I don't really get that, but whatever. Also, Katie, I was a fan of him, Eric. He's just a snake. He's like that pretty girl in high school that never committed to anybody, but was with everybody. That's who Kevin Durant is.
I have never been a big I've never been no, I've never heard that one, but
no, that's a good one. Yeah.
I've never been a big KD guy.
Yeah.
And, to me, I saw this thing saying like LeBron, KD, and Steph are the only 3 players in the league that have nothing to prove. I don't agree with that. I mean, Steph won a championship without KD. LeBron's obviously won championships. KD's won 2. Yeah. And sure, he was very good in those finals. Don't get me wrong. Right. Don't get it twisted. But he's never done anything without those Golden State Warrior teams. He needed that team that was already established, a team that had already won championship, a team that had already been to the finals multiple years in a row to get it done. So I think he still does have stuff to prove. If he wants to be considered a top 8 to 10 player of all time. To me, he's got to do more. And, some people say he's the greatest scorer of all time, which, I don't totally disagree with that. He's 7 foot tall and can score at all three levels.
Right.
But he needs to do more to me. And I'm a little bit of I'm not going to say a hater because I appreciate his game, but I think his past, like him, just such a bitch move going to Golden State, and nothing else he's never won without going there. So I think he's got one done in Phoenix.
Eric, I got to throw this out here. So Kobe went through all that. Okay. Had some really good years for Shaq, then had some shit years, and then he got Powell, and then he was good. And then you got Dirk Nowitzki. All right. Won one championship. I don't know how the fuck they beat the Heat that year. Still don't understand that. And then you got Giannis. And I kind of wish, that's just how the NBA is nowadays. But I don't think we're going to ever see someone commit to a team anymore, except Giannis, maybe.
Well, one player is Steph.
Steph, yep, Steph too.
And I used to hate Steph so much. But I just love his game. I love his game too much to hate him anymore.
Yes.
I just hate watching him beat the Lakers or beat LeBron. That's why I hated him. But no, I mean, it's tough, man. But at the same time, I get it too, because every single old head, and I kind of just talked about it too, says that you got to win championships to be considered an all-time great, right?
Yes, sir.
So, like LeBron's first stint in Cleveland, from 2003 to whatever it was, 2010 or whatever, they didn't give him anything. The best player that they gave him was, I don't know, Mo Williams. Like, I don't know, Larry Hughes. Like, you know what I mean? So if a team's not willing to get you players, or they can't get you players, and everyone's going to base your career as a success or a failure on you winning a championship, I mean, how can you complain about a guy changing his job? That's like you changing your job for more money. And on top of that, there is very few people in this world, very, very few, that would rather live in Cleveland, Ohio than Miami, Florida, or Los Angeles, California. You know what I mean? Like, you want to bring your family to a place where you can go to the beach every weekend and you have all the money in the world to do all the cool things that those cities have to offer. You know what I mean? Money is not a thing to them. They can do whatever they want, So location's a thing, and then talent at other teams is obviously a thing as well. Like, would you rather stay in Cleveland and play with Mo Williams, or would you rather go to Miami and play with Dwayne Wade? So
that was a no-brainer in my. Yeah, no, I didn't mean that. I'm not attacking LeBron. I just Durant. He's really. I mean, you're on OKC, then you go to. Where'd he go?
State. You went to Golden State.
Golden State. Then he went over to the Nets.
Then he went to the Nets.
And
now
then,
he's in Phoenix.
Yeah. No. Okay.
And like I said, the only issue I have with him going to Golden State is that they had the best record in the NBA the year before.
Yep.
The best record in NBA history.
Yes.
The year before.
Yep.
And yes, they fell short to LeBron in the finals. They lost 3-1 lead.
Yep.
But they won the championship the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, at the time, KD was probably second or third best player in the NBA. I would say LeBron was one. You could make a case that Steph was 1A, and then you add him, and it's just like the balance of the NBA, the talent balance is just way out of whack. Yeah. So it is what it is. I'm glad that they got bounced from the playoffs. I'm excited to see, what these two conference finals can do. And God, I would just love to see a Lakers Celtics finals one more time.
I got to ask you too, how many years do you think Steph Curry has left? I mean, he's up there, Eric. I didn't realize that. I mean, he's fucking
34.
35. Yeah, 34, 35.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with him is he runs around like crazy. He runs like crazy. The one good thing for him is I don't care if he's 75 years old. He's going to be able to shoot that basketball like no one's ever been able to shoot it in the history of the game. So He'll always be able to stretch the floor. You know, you might see him, which he kind of already does, depending on who they're playing, switch more to like a 2 role where he's just spreading the floor and he's not running around as crazy or dribbling up the floor all the time, kind of just to preserve his body a little bit. The bad thing with him is he's not that good of a defender.
No.
You know, he's not somebody who he's going to have to guard guards because he can't guard a 4, you know, something like that. So, but he doesn't look like he's slowing down. I'll tell you that. You know, like I said, just watched that whole Lakers series, and a couple nights he had a couple tough shooting nights, but I mean, he still gets up and down the floor. He's advanced his scoring inside the paint with floaters and things of that nature. So, you know, he's got 5 more years, you know, to me. You know, can he win another championship? I think that's the question.
I don't know.
They have a lot of decisions to make this off season with Draymond Green and the GM and things like that are going to ultimately decide what happens with them over the next, you know, 3-4 years.
Yeah, no. But Eric, is there anything else you wanted to touch on that we didn't touch on? I
don't think so. I mean,
okay.
NBA, we'll have a lot to talk about here shortly with NBA and this with the finals coming up and some interesting storylines potentially over the next 2 weeks to see what's happening.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I still think the Raiders missed in the draft. That's just
we'll see. We'll see. We'll put a nice friendly wager on the Raiders Steelers this year. And
wait, I forget what the hell shit, and I didn't write that down. I'll have to go back to that episode. The wager between you, me, and Josh. Even though he's not, you know, going to be as involved in the show, he's still part of that fucking wager. I want to make that clear.
I don't remember what it was either. We have to go back and watch a couple episodes.
It was something about the Steelers winning the AFC.
Oh yeah, Steelers winning the AFC North.
Yes.
Wow, that was whatever I bet. Great bet. Great bet.
50. It was 50.
50 spankers. Holy. You guys might as well Venmo me now.
No, I don't think. I'm going to tell you, I could see them in the Super Bowl. And if that happens, I will cry.
Let me tell you.
Yes, sir.
Early Super Bowl prediction.
Oh.
Cincinnati Bengals. Get it done next year. That's my pick to win the Super Bowl.
Fuck. It's going to be interesting here because I don't think the Raiders are going to be. Wait, what?
Put a futures bet in. Cincinnati Bengals.
I don't want Joe Burrow win the goddamn Lombardi.
He's handsome.
Who do you think they face?
I think the Eagles. I'm gonna go San Fran. Bengals.
Wow.
San Francisco next year. I think they get healthy. I think the Eagles are gonna be really good again, but I think it's the old Super Bowl curse. You lose in the Super Bowl, you typically have a down year the following year.
Yep. You think the Bills actually don't choke, or they choke again?
No, they're gonna choke again. That's
all right.
They just they needed to show me more last year in that playoff game to make me believe that they're gonna win a Super Bowl.
It was just ugly.
They just got smacked around, you know.
Yep.
Just absolutely.
Yeah.
I just think they're up. You know, I don't want the Chiefs. I'm not gonna take the Chiefs. The Chiefs are gonna be a popular pick. The Eagles are gonna be a popular pick.
I'm gonna go fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. Come on, Eric.
Well, that's silly. They have a better chance of missing the playoffs than they do of making it to the Super Bowl. So, I mean,
well, I'm sick of that shit. Hey, we made it. You know, winning season. Fuck that. I want a goddamn Lombardi. Let's quit that shit. That's fucking. I almost offended you there. That's Cowboy shit. I was going to say Raider shit. That's Cowboy shit.
Yeah, the Raiders don't make the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys haven't won a fucking Super Bowl. Yeah, since I've been alive. I don't think they've won a. What the hell was the statistic? I think it was.
They haven't even been to an NFC Championship game.
I don't think they've won a playoff game since I've been alive. Since '97.
Did they win one last year? Didn't they beat somebody last year? And then they lost to the Eagles.
Oh fuck. Okay. Maybe
not.
I gotta look that up. I gotta look that up for next time. See,
Yeah.
if Nate and Trevor were here, they would be like, "You're full of shit, DB. Enough of that fucking bullshit. Don't spread false."
I could be wrong. I just really don't.
There is some statistic, or maybe it was a Super Bowl. They haven't been to a Super Bowl or AFC or NFC Championship or something. There was some statistic that was like, yeah, the Cowboys just need to calm down and fucking let the cheerleaders play with the bombs. All right, let's fuck. Tony Romo was awful. I don't give a shit.
I'd watch the Cowboys more if they stop playing football and just let the cheerleaders take over.
Holy fuck.
I mean, I don't want to watch the Cowboys.
I just put you on the spot right there. Do you see any statistic with I'll look it up for next time.
I'm trying to find it. I can't even use my phone anymore.
It's all right.
These things. Well, I got their schedule up here now. And
we can bash them to close.
Yeah, they beat the Bucks. They beat the Bucks first round.
Oh, I remember that. That struck the shit out of people. Because last year, or the year before, that's when Dak slid on the field like a jackass. Mm-hmm. Yep. I remember this now. Mike McCarthy fucking slamming 2 liters of cola and fucking just pounding the shit out of those chicken fingers. Oh my
best life. The guy's a legend. The guy's an all time.
Did you? Yeah, all right.
He's not a great football coach, but just as I don't know, just him being on the sideline just really fires me up.
Seeing McCarthy,
yeah,
just gets you pissed off.
No, just gets me going. You know, just because just strange cat. You know?
Is it the Slim Jim wrappers hanging out of its pockets, or?
Yeah, it is.
Makes you want to go to the local 7-Eleven and fucking just have a date, get a Slurpee while you're down there.
Crazy at a 7-Eleven.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Their taquitos are very good. If anybody's listening that's close to the 7-Eleven, head down there and get a steak and cheese taquito. It's fucking awful for your health, but it is delicious.
Good for your mental health.
It is good for your mental health, but I think your bowels will regret what the fuck you just put in your body. But that's besides the case. But Eric, no, I appreciate you coming on. I was going to run it solo tonight. Everybody's happy to see your handsome face. We missed you. You have a lot of shit going on. And I just appreciate you taking time out of your day. Lead the charge with me.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
We got to get some fucking guests here. You got to look around. We're live. I don't give a shit. Look around. People, if you're, we only got 4 people in here. They said do live so you get more views. It's after the fact we get the views. Whatever. Fuck it. But yeah, if you got any people out there that want to talk about their life, go ahead. Send them our way. Send them to Eric or me, and, we'll figure it out. So, all right, Eric, I appreciate it, buddy.
Take it easy, my man.
All right, all gas, no breaks here. It was another episode of Buckle Up with the Boys. Have a good day. Have a good night. God bless, and stay safe out there. Thank you.